It is time, and Ichi Nissan da, because it is time for AEW news. So WBD is cutting CEO David Zaslav's pay after shareholder backlash. So they were revising it, and then they, I guess, agreed salary from $22 million to $6 million per year. That's crazy. You mean to tell me that if AEW is costing them too much, they're not willing to nix Collision or whatever? Like, come on, man. Stock bonus target will shrink from $23.5 million to $7.5 million. That's of money. Now he's still fine. I mean, I wish I made 22 million and 1 year and then 6 million the next year or whatever, right? That's a win in my book, but you guys get what I'm getting at. That's a huge cut, man. Trimming the fat. Bryan, Danielson, and Chris Hero were in the crowd at the Arena Mexico CMLL Martes de Arena Mexico show. So Chris Hero and Danielson are there. You guys can see him. Another little Where's Waldo. I guess I stooged it. And they're chilling together. So good for them. But he cannot compete, unfortunately. Britt Baker rumors shut down after AEW contract status revealed. So she will be there until 2026. We covered that earlier. Persephone defeats ROH Women's TV Champion Red Velvet. So the other day I saw a clip of Red Velvet and I was putting her over. I was like, damn, she improved it. And then you see this clip and you're like, damn, maybe, I don't know, not trying to on her, but yeah, AEW's so Persephone, who's on the ROH show teaming with Thunder Rosa, I think after this is done airing, beat Red Velvet.
Red Velvet ya sacó la casa, se sacó la espina y ya estas cosas están parejas.
Vamos a ver, ahí está intentando, pero la casa Persephone, todo lo que sube, ¿qué pasa? Tiene que bajar.
¡Qué bombazo!
1, 2, 3, se acabó. Lo ha ganado.
Persephone merece una.
And was that for the title, I wonder?
Roberto López.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe his first CMLL title, but either way, shout out Red Velvet, I suppose. So we covered this on the member show, guys. Become a member or a patron to PWT. But I wanted to talk about it more today. A former production crew member is suing Jon Moxley in AEW. Christopher Dispenza is suing him for civil battery. As I broke down on the Monday show, he's asking for $25,000. So let's say
no. He's asking. Excuse me, Phil. He's asking for more than $25,000. The reward in the court case, it says the reward exceeds, or the compensatory amount exceeds $25,000. And I think a lot of people rested their hat on the fact that it was 25,000 and didn't say like 100,000 or whatever. But go on.
Right. So when we read into this on Monday, also the thing is that the thing he's suing for or whatever is can only be, you can only go after it if it exceeds 25K or whatever the fuck. So that's why he's going after that.
Right.
Either way, though, it doesn't matter. It's not like he's like,
I heard he wanted $30 and then they told him, it's going to cost a little bit more than that, buddy.
Exactly. What is the sweat off? My point is this. Let's say if a wrestler was wrestling his whole life, he got in a car accident, he went in the ring, pretended the injury came in the ring so that he could get a payday. We'd all applaud that. But let's say this camera guy, who, by the way, was hired by a third party as well. This isn't some guy that is an in-house camera guy like Stu in WWE. This is a guy who actually was hired through like a third party. You know that as well, right?
An independent contractor. How about that?
Exactly. So he was told, hey, you're going to hand this guy a screwdriver. So in no way is this guy even like a wrestling mark who's an in-house camera guy. He doesn't know shit. He's just taking this gig because it's what he can get. This guy's probably been holding cameras for 25 fucking years and just takes these gigs, And so he basically, let's say this guy's back injuries even were from him holding his camera for the last 20 fucking years, and Mox exacerbated them. What is 50 grand off Mox's back? And why did they let the fucking dirt sheet stooge this shit? Alba's like, oh, my high up sources didn't even know about this. He's almost like bragging about it. And you're sitting there like, gee, I'm sure they love that. These high up sources love that you put this out there before they could silently like, what's 50 grand? Tony Khan was just flexing boats and hose, dude. What's 50 grand off that back to make this go away quietly? What the fuck? Give this man 30 grand. That's my take on it. We'll watch the clip, but what's your take on this initially? And is this like a big deal? I mean, we've seen glass fly at fans and MJF throw at kids. Where's the end? Like, is this the end where they go, stop fucking around? Or do you think we see something worse? in the end?
My assessment of it, this is like 90% cut and dry. The only 10% that concerns me, well, not even a concern, but that we're missing is Moxley's side of the story and AEW side of the story. But I can't really imagine what kind of like excuse they're going to dream up to make it seem like this guy was in on it and like he had foreknowledge that he was going to get pushed. I said yesterday on Toonie Talk Wrestling, if you look at the video, Moxley is hell bent on touching this guy, whether the guy wants to or not. The second he picks up the screwdriver, it doesn't even look like he takes it from the guy's hand. It looks like he takes it from the side, from someplace.
Jon Moxley.
But yeah,
Right.
check it out. He treats Kenny Omega like he's handling plutonium, but meanwhile, this guy, he gets pushed out of the way. But yeah, he grabs the screwdriver, and it looks like he's with Moxley's left hand. It looks like he's about to go in and choke Chris.
Yeah, look, he
right in the neck.
him and pushes him, and the guy hits the deck, and he looks scared, dude. Like, look at this. Look at his face. He's looking back up like, whoa.
Yeah.
He's looking at him. What the fuck, man?
Yeah. And he's not a professional wrestler. And I saw, a couple Twitter accounts say like, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? These guys, do they forget that this is still a professional, multi-million-dollar business, folks? Like, these people are not here for their health. This guy is just trying to carry wires for the cameraman right beside him. And he was told to pick up a goddamn or give this man a screwdriver. Unless Moxley said, hey man, I'm going to push you. Which by the way, of course he didn't. But by the way, there's also other incidences, and it says it so much so in the court case, like, yeah, Moxley's done this type of dumb shit before. Then the guy also says in the court case, he's just like, AEW has a duty to, be responsible for these people who've got criminal backgrounds. Like, this guy is unloading the entire tea on this court case. Like, there's so much that's going to be mined and put out there. You want to pay this guy.
Yeah. You cut out there for 1 second there at the end of your fucking rant. But yes, man.
Did I die?
Yeah, you just died for like a split second, but we caught your rant. Like, we just missed your stamp on it, but I totally agree.
That's okay.
Mercedes Mone just won like a 7th title or whatever. And I heard rumors that the whole Mercedes Mone Mortis news was leaked to sort of take some heat off of this lawsuit. I think the real problem is them continuously stooging to these dirt sheets. Like, who's a higher up source that told Alba this shit so he got it out there for him to then go, oh, they also didn't know about this. You know what I mean? Like, Alba was almost flexing that he got the news.
Yeah, but why couldn't it have been Chris Dispenza? I mean, sometimes it's the most simple. The man's on Twitter, I believe. I think somebody tried to throw me his Twitter handle. Yeah. This is public record. I mean, all it takes is some geek to be like AEW lawsuits, and well, I guess you can. If you do that every day, you're bound to hit pay dirt, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's a higher up.
He's not asking. He's not asking for like $1 million though. He's just.
It's so funny because Marv said that he would ask for $10 million. I almost fell out my chair, man. I was just like, that's an ungodly amount of fucking money.
But here's the thing: let's say you get 2, and got to give your lawyers
right.
1.
That's exactly what he said. Yeah.
I mean. Jesus.
Hilarious.
But it's no sweat. Moxley, pay this fucking guy. It's $50K. Pay the fucking man and don't play around. So yeah, Alba quote tweets his article from SI and goes, as you can read in the piece, multiple high-level sources were unaware of the lawsuit's claim that Moxley had past disciplinary offenses. So why are you stooging it? And a documented history of unpredictability. One disputed his characterization in the lawsuit. I don't know, man. I think people can dispute that characterization as well. Well, I think people could dispute, like, if you're disputing that he's acted out, I think you could dispute he has acted out. You know what I mean? Like, there's people who've buried him like Paul Heyman in the past. Like, well, the shit he wanted to do with Brock said, nope, I'm a professional, like superstar athlete, and I do what I would, just all of these things. Moxley on his wife's podcast talking about, I wasn't even under contract and I had their world title and I don't even need to do this for you, really, Punk. When he squashed Punk, he wasn't even under contract. He had their world title. He could have walked into WWE with the AEW world title. He could have fucking done that. Tony wouldn't have done shit. That's reckless.
That's where Dispensa's lawyers could have, could be setting the table as far as a pattern of unpredictability and unprofessionalism and a lack of consequence for his actions.
Right. And I don't mean to interrupt you, Awful, but I get so excited because imagine Moxley having us now go like Terry Bollea, well, actually, I'm Jonathan Good or whatever. And I fucking, and this is a gimmick I play. I'm actually not an unhinged lunatic guy. Is he going to have to do that? Is he going to have to say that? There's video of him in the show called Total Divas where some guy like grabs a hat off of their table or some shit, and Dean Ambrose jumps over the table and runs after the guy and grabs him and is going to kick his ass. Are they like, is this the sort of shit they're going to present? And is he going to have to go, well, my character, I'm actually not an unhinged crazy guy?
I am not a lawyer, but I think that's the reason why in the initial complaint they also have his name, Jonathan Good, also otherwise hereafter known as Jon Moxley. So I don't think he's going to be able to escape that quite so easily. And that's like really a snake oil salesman, like slimy lawyer type.
That's what lawyer shit is, bro. What are you talking about? That's
who's his lawyer going to be, from the Moorish Society or something? Like,
it'll be fucking
the constitutional
Judge Judas
Constitutional Party. Yeah.
On this side of the court, the plaintiff.
This is the defendant, Jon Moxley.
He says this old cameraman was worse for wear. He was ready. Lights, camera, pussy. Action. He was ready for his clothes.
Like a girl.
Yeah. He was the plaintiff, Chris Dispenza. He says Moxley pie-faced him, and he wasn't ready for his close-up. Dun, 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 dun.
He suffered 2 broken ankles. I don't know.
So Ricochet responds to this, and he says, "We live in a world of pussies," and then he swiftly deleted this. What do you think of Ricochet's response to all this, and does that help the court case at all?
Exactly what AEW disciplinary committee said. This is now Exhibit A, my people, because it shows you the lack of professionalism within the company. Listen, the process, the lawyers for Dispenza have got so much evidence that could. A lot of it is circumstantial, right? But hey, it set a nice table for this incident. And as I said, keep in mind, Phil, there's more than one Dynamite episode or pay-per-view that shows Jon Moxley doing things extremely similar to wrestlers on video. So I'm sure they're going to be exposing that.
So Awful, you got hijacked by Ultron, brother. You got hijacked by Ultron. But listen, let me add this to the conversation as well. Okay? You have CM Punk pushing Jack Perry in front of Tony Khan. The company sides with Jack Perry. Jack Perry shot a single leg on him. A monitor didn't even got wobbled. Tony Khan says, "I feared for my life," and lawyer said he should be out of here. And da-da-da-da-da. You think they're not going to bring all that to the table too? That's a layup, dude.
Now, of course.
So Awful, you're duking it out with Skynet right now, brother. We hear you. You're duking it out with Skynet. You'll get that sorted, I'm sure. But you cut out entirely now. But we can move along. You can pipe back in with your thoughts, though, if you get that sorted. I pointed out many things on the member shows, so make sure you guys become a member. New arrival, AEW for once. They made a fucking tee that actually doesn't look half bad. Awful's just rejoining here, guys. And it's a Thekla tee, and it looks fucking spectacular. I actually like this tee a whole lot, and they're doing great shit with her. So continuing along, man, more of that. Jamie Hayter. Sources, so this is via Fightful Select. Sources in AEW have said that Jamie Hayter would be booked if she were available and indicated she hasn't been cleared. It was said that AEW had to get creative with the Thekla Hayter angle, speaking of Thekla, which is why the lights went out. They're hopeful they have Hayter back soon. Yeah, hopefully they get Hayter back soon. I guess she's hurt again. God forbid, man. It sucks. It really, really does. We were talking about Ricochet just a moment ago. And guys, hopefully Awful rejoins. If he doesn't, go and follow him on YouTube and X, Awful Wrestling. And a round of applause for him. If he does rejoin, great. But yeah. But Alfred Konuwa drops a video about Ricochet, as he calls him, and he says he crashed out on me for saying Tony Khan has zero authority. And then, he rests his case here with this video.
Twitter Ricky strikes again. A former AEW crew member is suing the company after Jon Moxley pushed him, leading to alleged injuries. But have no fear, Twitter Ricky is here. Ricochet responded to a top sicko account about the lawsuit with a tweet and delete saying, quote, "We live in a world of pussies," end quote. Remember when Bitter Ricky got mad at me because I criticized Tony Khan for having no authority over his talent or fans? Well, TK's lack of authority has led to one of his most useless and uncharismatic stars crashing out on Twitter as his, quote, gimmick. And not only is Ricochet's gimmick costing Tony money with that big old contract despite not drawing a dime, get it how you live, Bitter Ricky's tweet and delete might help the plaintiff win what already felt like a slam dunk case. But hey, he's just playing a Twitter heel and working the IWC, right? Twitter Ricky might be smaller than John Stockton, but he's still out here giving the prosecution and his...
Smaller than John Stockton? Oh, Alfred, why has he got to do that to him like that? We have Athena. Speaking of doing him wrong, Athena says she'll be super bummed out if she doesn't compete at AEW All In Texas in her own home state.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
Why the fuck did they parade her out there? Think about how morbid this is, man. Why would you want that? It's more fucked up to do what Tony Khan did with Athena than to do a work shoot with R-Truth, who's a 20-year veteran of WWE, if he really was released or not. Athena says she'll be bummed out if she doesn't compete at All In Texas. And she says, I don't know if that's in my stars. If not, I have Ring of Honor pay-per-view that I'll probably be defending my championship on. You know, I'd probably be super bummed out if I wasn't on All In. But honestly, there's still time. So she's not even going to be on the fucking show, Tony Khan. And they rolled her out there with Conrad Thompson to fucking promote the show when they first announced
now,
it.
Eric.
And then they just jobbed her to Mone in that fucking tournament, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like madness. What a bunch of fucking lunacy that's going on. She doesn't even know she's going to be on the show, dude. So incredibly disappointing. As we talked about with Awful, Mercedes Moné and the Beast Mortis, Frank Mortis Esquire, the lawyer, they are together, confirmed. And so, Dave Meltzer's just so excited about this. And yeah, apparently Tony Khan's flexing like, hey, I'm over here. Hello, ladies. So, ladies and gentlemen, at StarCast, she is the rule enforcer in AEW and the first woman to officiate a world title main event on pay-per-view. Get your bracelets to meet Ref Aubrey now. So there you go, guys. Aubrey Edwards will be at All In Texas. And so Mercedes Moné tweets out, I can't wait to sue all of you. Rawr. Now she's dating the Beast Frank Mortis Esquire, the fucking lawyer at Frank and Mortis's, right? Then also the sue thing with Moxley, he's getting sued, and I just don't know if, as Samoa Joe, by the way, super over in Mexico, a commodity, a proven fucking star. So yeah, I just don't know if that's in good taste, but I do like Mercedes like trolling the IWC and just, you guys know, she pops me kind of with how she handles people, but I am kind of critical of her belt collecting shit, and Tony's in love with her, and if we see Tony Storm win, then that could be it, right? The relationship was announced, and then she doesn't ultimately get the AEW world title. What if he just switches the booking and Tony Storm defends? Oh shit, then we'll know. Then we'll know that Tony Khan's got fucking
emotional damage.
So after, Dave Meltzer goes, one company's upset about this, Bryan. And then we're all like, yeah, it's for sure AEW. That Tony's like, we don't want Camille and Wardlow. Like you text Tony. It's not WWE. They don't care. So what, OVW, Dave, who you're talking about? Then this report comes out. AEW's actually not the ones bothered by WWE's participation in American Gladiators. And then it's like, well, why would you be bothered? So now all of a sudden you care about Camille and Wardlow's jobs and well-being. And we know you're not bothered. It's Camille and Wardlow. They're not even on your TV show. Why the fuck would you care if they're on another show that's actually going to get eyeballs? Why would you give a fuck? So I just love how like the fucking whoever Dave is listening to PWT Confirmed had to fix that because we called him out for stooging. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was AEW news.